So together with Sandra Ahlstrand, who is also on the call, I run the DPP activities at SSAB. And the reason for putting a lot of emphasis to the steel industry, and also the reason for steel industry being early on in the DPP development is, of course, that we are the problem child of the industry. We emit more than 7% of the CO2 in the world, not SSAB, but the steel industry, and something like 25% of the industry. So if we can eliminate this part, if we can have a tool like DPP that can support that, it will be really important. And we at SSAB have solutions for it. We have two product lines, the hybrid technology and the SSAB Zero route that brings down our emissions to virtually zero. So that means, of course, that we hope to use DPP as a way to convey this information, because it's not easy to reach out with numbers and decision facts to customers and other decision makers. And we have been very active in the development of the standards and the delegated act that is, I would say, halfway through now. Hopefully we are going to get a delegated act for steel in the end of this year. We are also active in networking across everywhere, including international collaboration, and we have been early on testing. So my thought was to go through a little bit of the work that we have been doing right now and share some learnings from this. To start with the team, we very early realized that it has to be a very broad representation in the team. So not just IT people or sustainability people, but actually like everyone. And most recently, me and Sandra have had talks with the legal people, because it turns out that they also have opinions about what we are stating. And it's a lot of learning, of course, and it's not one man's responsibility either, DPP in a company. And then, of course, it's needed to set up a business case, have a time plan, have a budget, and it's not a small thing to introduce DPP. And then about the scope, you need to understand how your products are affected by the standards, by the delegated act, and also learn from best practices, because there are a lot of companies, a lot of pilots that goes on in Europe, and it's super important that we learn from each other, we think. And this is also a great initiative, the open project meeting that we have today, to share this type of experience. When it comes to details, we had a lot of discussion, what is a product? And we also are active in downstream processing, which where do we draw the line between a steel product and a component that's made of steel? What kind of granularity, because we can play around on this in different, on model, batch, individual level, and the data will also be on different levels. We realized we will aim for individual levels for the DPP wherever it's possible, because we think that then we can add a lot of even more consumer relevant information on that level. We put a lot of effort early on in mapping data. What is available? What is the requests from customers? What brings value? And then with that, and in the demonstrator that we set up last year, we had 14 data points. Now it's we think that the delegated act is going to point out something like 90 data points that is needed as to be compliant. We will see. Maybe Victor has a little bit more input to this. But when discussing with customers, we are more close to 300 data points that they would like to be present, which isn't a problem really. If you manage 14, you manage 300, I would say. And then we identified gaps because our current systems, even if they are our production system is based on individual level, all data is not available on that prediction. And we also put a lot of effort in understanding what brings extra value to customers apart from this the mandatory data. And it's not just values, just as Mikael described with the ontology. We also have to find a way to describe the units, the sources, how it's verified, which period it's valid for, and things like that. So it's a rather complex story, at least as we see it. Then when it comes to the IT part, we are good setup. I would say we have e-com already, which means that we have some kind of PIM system, a product information management system that we can build on, but there are still things that are missing, and we have huge amount of different systems that are behind, and we try to take the data from the original system rather than an existing data lake or server. So building this in a future-proof way and also adding high security on it has taken a lot of work. Then the data carrier, this is one example where we run with marking directly on the plates. We hope that this will be up running after the summer this year. But it has not been easy because, I mean, our products are torn and beaten in handling from us during our production, but also on the transportation to the customer. And we have looked into labels in different ways. And here we will have a combination on different ways to display it, because we have so many different production lines that end in different type of packaging and so on. But we have developed systems for it that works technically. The main challenge here is rather to make it work in practice, so it remains out to the customers. And that means, for example, when it comes to coding, we'll have an error correction code that is high, so you can lose a rather large part of the QR code and still be readable. At the moment, we use a self-issuing system, And one of the reasons for that is that we want to control our the security level, and especially against the data breaching. We actively look for pilots with our customers. In practice, this means not very much setting up systems together with them, but rather discussing with them what kind of data, what kind of API solutions. And if you remember the slide from Johan Dahlgren, he showed the API solution to the European authorities. Our customers also want to have API solutions rather than scanning. So that is a large part of the cooperation with during those pilots. And we have developed a demonstrator, which was, I would say, essential, necessary in order to have a good discussion with the customers. And here you can see one of them. It's also here we learn what kind of data that the customer can benefit from in processing, for example, which is not at all a part of the original intention of DBP, but as a data carrier, the customers can benefit very much from feeding their production system with real data that optimize the efficiency. We have spent a lot of time learning by meeting and discussing in projects, and we run several research projects like metals and minerals financed by Vinnova, for example, and that is really rewarding. And then internally, we have had a lot of webinars and meetings and articles. Here you can see Sandra writing about what we are doing, because that's also a journey to get everyone on board. Just as with our customers, very few inside also knows about the product passport. And there's a lot more to do there. We have started to run webinars with customers, for customers as well. And then finally, we also see that this is not a one-time shot. It's not a project. It's a new feature that the products the company have to offer. And that will continue to evolve and be developed over like forever, hopefully. It makes our products smart in a new way. It's our IoT feature, you can say, and that means also a lot for the future business opportunities. And we are putting also now focus together with our customers to find those blue ocean areas where we can make the value of green products also come out as sales values, as new volumes, new market position, even a lower cost position, and giving a higher corporate and owner values for the customer. So it's not only learning how to use and how to set up and create DPP, it's very much also how to use it to create a business value. And I would like to end by this picture. We believe that every product has a story, and it will be the DPP marking that will be the carrier of this story. Thanks, Malin.
That's a great story, Johan.